Dead No More. Patient Zero, Chapter 9. Who's That Girl? Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Brown Belt Joshua Parker, said Andre. This kid has been through it. He's never met his dad. His mom was killed by DCs, and M found him barricaded in a treehouse in Birmingham. He says his dad was a sheriff's deputy in Kentucky. According to his mom's journal that he carried with him, his dad and a few of his sheriff buddies were at a seminar in Birmingham when he met Joshua's mom. Well, one thing led to another, and 9 months later, Joshua was here. I don't think the guy even knew he was a dad, but his mom did give him his dad's last name, Parker. Today we're taking the kids that Andre believes to be capable to remove some DCs from one of the outposts that we established. Gerald, Andre, Diane, M, Ricky, Robert, Rodriguez, and I. We also had Joshua, 16, Aisha, 18, Regina, 18, and Jeffrey, 17, with us. I think Robert had a thing with Aisha, and Ricky with Regina. Or was it the other way round? Both Leon and Andre signed off on them being ready. But it takes more than being ready on a mat. You have to be ready in the shit. After we got far enough from the bunker, we removed the hoods. Diane was a little feisty, as she didn't know why she still had to wear a hood being a council member and all. And Rodriguez didn't, as he was the newest member of the Raiders. "This is bullshit, Poppy," she said. "You know you can trust me. Why do I still have to wear a hood like some newbie?" "Diane, if you were captured and tortured and ordered to give up our location, would you?" I asked. "I don't know," she said honestly. "Well, that's why you still wear the hood," I replied. I overheard her curse me in Spanish under her breath. "Boss man," said Andre. "It looks like we got fresh tire tracks near the outpost. Somebody came a-looking, and may still be there. We had a snowfall last night, but the tracks were fresh. Whoever made them may still be in the area." "Okay, everyone, stay on your toes," I said. "You first-timers, stick with your adult counterpart and do everything they say, when they say it." The tire tracks ended with a car plowed into a tree. There were obscured footprints leading to the outpost. We stopped a good 200 yards from the outpost. It was very unassuming. It was just a hunter blind in a tree. We stashed some weapons, food, and ammo for emergency purposes. As we approached the blind, it shook a little and we heard some muffled noises coming from inside. The noises were voices. "Look! This stuff wouldn't have been left here if they didn't want us to take it," said the male voice. "We shouldn't steal, Ronnie," said a female voice. "It's not stealing if the owner never comes back for it, Jamie," said the male voice. "If they're dead. Remember, everything dies, baby boy," she said. We surrounded the blind as two kids walked out. The girl raised her hand and nervously pointed a gun at us. "You stay back, mister," she said. "I'm not afraid to use this gun." You can tell she was inexperienced with weapons as the safety was still on. "We mean you no harm," I said. "My name is Dr. Marvin Harris. We set this place up for people in trouble, like you. Are you alone out here?" The kids looked at each other and their mood changed from one of defiance to sadness. "We saw our father Jeremy get eaten as we were trying to make it to Atlanta," said Jamie. "I'm Jamie, and this is my brother Ronnie." She lowered her gun. "Are you hungry?" asked M. "We have some food." Ronnie quickly hid the rations we had stored in the blind behind him. "It's okay," I said. "We put that food in there to help people." The military were evacuating people from the park near the green concession stand, but by the time we got there, it was overrun with those monsters, said Jamie. "How did you two kids survive out here by yourselves all this time?" asked Gerald. "After the park, we went to a church. We were there with a bunch of people, and we thought we were okay. But one of those monsters got inside," said Ronnie. DCs, we call them DCs, said Diane. Well, Father Alonso told us to run. And we did, said Jamie. It seems that whenever danger was around, we ran. Just then, Joshua's eye caught Jamie's. They both began to blush. Well, if you two are tired of running, you're welcome to come with us, I said. We do, however, have some rules. After explaining our customs, the two agreed and tagged along. We had brought a mini school bus that one of the twins, Robert, I think, found, and that Fred was instructing on restoring. As we approached a clearing in the woods, we saw about 12 or 13 DCs dispersed, but heading our way. Okay, I want the new kids in the middle. Blades only. We don't want to attract any more attention than we have to, I whispered. On one of his first raids, Rodriguez found 4 Hattori Hanzo swords. These swords obviously belonged to a collector. There were only 100 ever made. The metal folding technique has never been duplicated. The tensile strength of the blade makes it unbreakable. They were pristine and priceless. But more so, in the hands of one who could wield it, they were deadly to the living and the dead alike. Rodriguez gave them to me and said that I should decide who they go to. I kept one for myself and gave one to Leon. Together, Leon and I decided we should give one to Andre. The 4th one is locked in my quarters in the bunker. Gerald seemed to be comfortable wielding dual machetes, and the twins were bowmen through and through. Rodriguez had a pair of hatchets with curved pikes on the end that he found when he found the swords. He kept those for himself. Diane had a fencing rapier that she had become accustomed to. It suited her rapier wit, pun intended. She had a pair of hunter's knives as she was still feeling her way out for a weapon. We picked the stragglers off first. One by one, they fell quickly. They fell quietly. "Sweet!" yelled Ronnie. And with that, the DCs were upon us. When they turned, more started pouring in from out of sight of the clearing. There must have 30 or 40 of them. "Keep the kids safe," I yelled. "It looks like we have a small herd to deal with." Jeffrey lost his nerve and panicked. He ran out of the clearing and right into another pack of advancing DCs. They devoured the poor kid as he yelled and screamed for help. "No one else runs. Now close ranks and stick together," I yelled over the hissing and gurgling of the DCs as we continually sliced and diced our way back towards the bus. As we continued, Aisha fell. Jumped in with her knives and killed 8 DCs as Aisha got back to her feet. She was a flurry of blades and feet. I yelled for Andre to get them back to the bus as I unleashed the Hanzo. Its shining blade flashed in the sun as 2, 4, 8, 12, 16 DCs fell. We ferried Aisha toward the bus. As the bus was loading, a decrepit hand reached out from under bus and grabbed Jamie by the foot. In one swift motion, Joshua stomped on its forearm and kicked the hand, freeing Jamie's foot. He then stomped its head in an exploding, bloody mess. The bus was slowly being surrounded. Joshua had a staff, walking stick. He used it to bludgeon the advancing DCs as they approached the bus. "Hurry and get on the bus, now," he ordered, as he continued to whack the DCs. The twins began to let arrows fly from the windows, and the DCs began to fall. Joshua quickly jumped on the bus. I motioned for Andre to take off, as Aisha and I headed to the blind. We ran as fast as we could. First we got up, then Aisha. As I was climbing the rope, a DC grabbed my leg. Whipped one of her knives, and it stuck right in her eye as she slumped to the ground. We heard Andre honking the horn of the bus as the remaining DCs began to follow the sound instead of pursuing us. The 3 of us sat there out of breath, looking at each other. "Poor Jeffrey," exclaimed Aisha. "This is what we train for," I scolded. Why did he have to run off by himself into another pack? You're scaring the poor girl, Marv. We all need to relax and figure out what we are going to do, said M. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I don't want to die, said Aisha. You're not dying today, I said with authority. As long as you do what I say, when I say it. Do you understand me? She nodded. I looked at M. Those were some slick moves back there, I said. Somewhere along the lines, I must have had a good teacher, she said, as she cracked a smile. Jamie and Ronnie had taken the food we had stashed there. There were still 2 canteens of water. I gave one of the canteens to Aisha. Drink up, I said, as I handed the other one to M. You too. What about you? She asked. I'll be fine, I replied. We'll share, she said. We took turns sipping from the canteens as the hissing and the gurgling of the DCs began to fade in the distance. Andre will come back to the blind once he eludes the DCs, I said. You two stay here. I have to see to Jeffrey. I think we should stick together, said M. Are you up to it, Aisha? I think so, she said nervously. Look, Aisha, I know I sometimes come off as a hard ass, but that's because I can see the potential in each and every one of you. I know you can do this. I just wished you believed in yourself as much as I do, I said. I caught M smiling at me. Thanks, Dr. Marvin, said Aisha. I can do this. We looked around the blind, and there was no trace of any DCs. We climbed down, and M retrieved her knife from the DC's eye socket. Aisha had taken the crossbow and bolts that were in the blind. We circled back to the clearing and followed the trail of bodies we had left. All that was left was the top half of Jeffrey's bloodied torso as it crawled toward us, hissing and gasping. I raised my sword to put him out of his misery as a bolt found its mark in his right temple. We picked up his pack and his staff. Are you okay, Aisha? Asked M. I'm fine, as long as Dr. Marv is around, she said with a lilt in her voice. M looked at me with a look that said, if you don't let this poor girl down easy. Look, Aisha, I want you to be strong enough to make it if you happen to find yourself on your own, I said as I pulled the bolt from Jeffrey's temple. Would you be willing to train me the way you train her? She asked, motioning to M. M is a black belt, and you're still a brown belt, I said. Learn everything you can from Masters Andre and Leon first. I will. Will you teach me then? She asked. We'll see, I said. What about Robert? What about him? She asked. He's a boy, but you're a man. Yeah, a man who is technically old enough to be your father, I said. Plus, he's already spoken for, said M as she placed one of the wettest, sloppiest kisses I've ever had on me. Oh, I didn't know, said Aisha. Apparently neither did I whispered to M. Sometimes these things just sort of happen, announced M. You spend enough time with someone and bam, you start having feelings for them. As we walked back to the blind, Andre was pulling up with the bus. There were bits of DC splattered all over the front of the bus. Does someone need a ride? Asked Andre as he opened the bus door. Is everyone okay? I asked. Yep, everyone is a little freaked out, but okay, he said. But this dude, he said, pointing to Joshua as we boarded the bus, this dude is a freaking animal. He saved this little lady right here, handled himself like a pro. Joshua blushed again as Jamie kissed him on the cheek. We put bags on those that needed it as we headed back to the bunker. Once we arrived, I asked Joshua to walk with me. You handled yourself really well out there, I said. So much so that Gerald and Andre want you in the Raiders. Really? He exclaimed. Yes, I said, and I want to take you on as a student. But I'm not a black belt yet, he said. You are as of right now, I said, and I wanted to give you this. I reached into my locker and pulled out the remaining Hanzo sword. "Sensei," he said as he bowed, "I am not yet worthy of this honor. May I make a request?" "Sure, go ahead," I said. "Will you present this sword to M?" he asked. "She is more deserving, especially how she saved Aisha. And besides, for the sword to truly mean something to me, I'd rather you award me your sword when you feel I am ready." I bowed to him. "The student has become the teacher," I said. "Joshua, I have no doubt that someday you will be running this place."